looking back now, was that the hardest thing for you to do, was just to go, right, I'm resigning, or I'm just putting the line in the sand and doing it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think, in my opinion, it was a good decision because it's made me a stronger person, mentally stronger, physically stronger, and more confident. Because look, you might be in there running a $1 million business for someone else, but when you have to go out there and actually grow it and develop it and build it yourself, and then you can see you can actually do it and it's doing it well, it's just fantastic. One of my first leads I got with Tim's, and when I first started, turned into be my biggest account.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. And I don't know whether it was just luck. They were looking for a contractor, and they was obviously looking for business, and I serviced the client, and she was happy, and they just asked me, "Oh, do you want another client?" I said, "Oh yeah, this case, you know." Yeah. So now I've got about with that specific aged care group, I've got about 90 clients there at the moment with them, and I've got another 20 clients coming over next month from that same organisation.
So, Michael, thanks for joining us today on the Jim's podcast, Jim's Mowing podcast as well. So you're a dual franchisee, which is exciting for me because I don't think we've had a dual franchisee on yet. So you own a Jim's Mowing. You've just started Jim's Window and Pressure Cleaning. So first of all, we always ask the question, what were you doing prior to Jim's?
Yeah, well, I was the corporate world for 32 years. It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a very long time.
Yeah, no, but I tell you what, at the end there, I got a bit stale, a bit sort of, in the looking zone for something different. But in that specific time, I learned so much about serving customers and customer service and customer strategy, and that's really helped my business now to be able to communicate with different customers, different levels, and just look at the bigger picture with customers. So yeah, no, it was good. But to be honest with you, I'm pleased I've left the corporate world now. Obviously, most people say that, but the new journey now for me is just obviously growing my business, and it's so exciting. And the pressure's gone. I've got no pressure now. I've lost 15 kg of weight. I'm healthy. I can sleep at night, and I'm growing an exciting business, and I'm loving it. So it's fantastic.
Now, after all that time, what were you looking to do? Did you look at multiple things, or like what was your sort of thought process? Because a lot of people would be, same thing. They want to get out of corporate, but they're like, well, what do I do, or what do I use for my skills? So just want to talk through your decision-making process and how you did it?
I guess like a lot of people, I was on a fairly good salary in the corporate world, and I sort of accepted that. I accepted because I had 4 kids growing up. My kids were growing up, and I had to provide from it. And it was just a secure thing. So I thought about business a few times in my career about buying a business, but there was a risk. I thought, I wasn't quite in the looking zone. So once I got the looking zone, I made the decision. The decision was hard, but once I made the decision, it was this massive weight off my shoulders. And basically from there, I had been looking at businesses to purchase businesses, obviously. And I looked at Jim's Mowing a number of times, the franchise, and I looked at a lot of your podcasts. I love the podcast; it's fantastic.
Thanks.
And it just and I remember seeing Dan on the YouTube and how he made good money, how he developed and grew his business, and to where he is today. It was just incredible, So yeah.
Thanks for telling me that. And it's great that you could come on and share your story as well to help other people like yourself, and that's what it's about. So I was going to say as well, Ian, so you've decided on Jim's Mowing. You made that decision, and was that, looking back now, was that the hardest thing for you to do, was just to go, right, I'm resigning, or I'm just putting the line in the sand and doing it? Was that the hardest thing looking back?
Yes.
Yep.
And I think in my opinion, it was a good decision because it's made me a stronger person, mentally stronger, physically stronger, and more confident.
Yep.
Because look, you might be in there running a $1 million business for someone else, but when you have to go out there and actually grow it and develop it and build it yourself, and then you can see you can actually do it and it's doing it well, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's a massive confidence boost once you can do it. And you've always got those skills in you. That's the thing, right? It's just the confidence of getting rid of the wage security, I guess, and being comfortable and pushing yourself.
The comfort zone. You've got to get out of the comfort zone and have a crack and you can do well for it,
Now, I want to talk about your business because you've already got like an exceptional star rating. So I'll just read out the stats. So you've just been going for just over a year. So your first year in business, you've got 126 ratings already on your Mowing franchise at a 4.9 star average. So we'll call it 5 stars. So that's pretty good. So you've obviously implemented a lot of this customer service stuff you've learned into your business. So do you want to talk a little bit about your Mowing business so far and the first 12 months? Give us a bit of a review. How's it been?
Okay. Well, obviously when I first kicked in, and most people would say that, I was very overwhelmed because I wasn't a real good gardener or mowing person back then at all. I just wanted to get into a business and develop and grow it. But I guess the toll on the body, I'm 54, obviously, and a little bit older than some of the people out there. But it took me 3 months to get fit. It's the best way. And then I thought I was pretty fit because I used to cycle a lot, and it's a different sort of muscle.
Yeah, and the different fitness.
Yeah, and look, I had injuries. I had to work through injuries. So, and I guess for me, I just didn't have the confidence on how to use, for example, getting a whippersnapper properly or hedge. When people said, "Oh, you got to do a hedge," you look at a hedge. I thought, "My God, how am I going to do that? I don't know how to do it." But once I just accepted it and had to go and just had a crack and just worked on it and kept on working on it. And my philosophy is, I've got fairly high standards, but I won't leave a job unless I'm happy with it. It has to be done properly every time. That's it. Simple as that. And I think by doing that, and the customers will see you go out there beyond the expectation, and they're happy, and always make sure they're happy before I leave. And by doing that, I've got recurring business by doing that. Yeah, so the journey is in like the machinery. I started with machinery. It was quite small machinery, and I got bigger rider mowers, stuff like that on the track. But I just might go back a little bit. So one of my first leads I got with gyms, and when I first started, turned into be my biggest account.
Wow.
It was incredible, and I don't know whether it was just the luck but it was they were looking for a contractor, and I was obviously looking for business, and I serviced the client, and she was happy, and they just asked me, "Oh, do you want another client?" I said, "Oh yeah, let's get it," Yeah, so now I've got about with that specific aged care group, I've got about, I think it's just about 90 clients there at the moment with them.
Wow, that's a lot.
And so and it's good. It's a good setup, and it's working quite well.
Awesome.
And I've got another 20 of those, another 20 clients coming over next month from that same organisation. So. But in saying that, I've got other avenues, other different businesses out there, and customers I'm working on at the moment that to build more, more diversity and just a different customer line, if you know what I mean. So, for example, doing some work with the DVA at the moment, and I'm trying to put together a package where I clean the windows, the gutters, the solar panels, and the lawn.
Yep.
So, for example, like that's roughly. I think I did the calculations. It's roughly $4,000 a year per customer, per client if you do that. So
wow,
if you work that out over 30 or 40 clients, that's a fair bit there. So
good revenue.
Yeah, good revenue.
And I was going to say as well, well, going back to what you said about the work, but your star rating would say that all the customers are really happy with your work. So you're obviously doing a great job with that, with how much care you're taking and things like that. And I think sometimes when your franchisee comes out to a client's house, it's actually a good thing because they take a little bit more time, maybe because they need to get it perfectly right, like yourself, and you probably get a really, really good job from the newer franchisees.
Obviously, going from back there now to back where I'm now, I've got 3 employees at the moment, and the thing is, I'm really excited about now is I've got a team out there at the moment. They'll go to a site. And they'll service the client, and I'm getting 5 stars from those guys. So that's what I'm really, really excited about. More than any guys that I've achieved, that I've got those guys in the same mindset. I keep on getting SMS messages from clients saying that these guys are doing a great job, great work, fantastic, and it's just so exciting for me to get that feedback.
It must be a real kick. And I'm going to ask you 2 questions about this because it's important for other franchisees because it's a really good thing. So 3 employees already in your first year. So when did you decide to put on your first employee? Like, what was the moment that you went?
Okay. Yep. When I stopped the leads, when I had to stop the leads.
Right.
So here's the secret is don't stop the leads, because you've got to obviously escalate them and recruit and start managing your business there. And once I did that, and I had more time, and I got I made a decision. Okay, I'll get these guys out there. I'll show them how to do it. Work with them. And then I let them go, and they did it. And what they did, they send me photos after every job. And if there's an issue or something, I think there might be a bit of work needing on that photo or that side, I just give them that feedback, and they're happy with that. But yeah, so escalation. So obviously, as the sales go, you get to a point where if you're full 5 days a week, well, you're in trouble, because you need to be able to, you have to be able to take more leads or more potential customers, for example, if you want to grow the business. So obviously back then, that's when I started recruiting, and obviously now I've got the 3 guys on. I've got and I'm currently recruiting for a 4th one now. And believe it or not, back when I put on the first two team members, I've actually pulled the business back to 4 days a week. So because these young fellas, they sort of like the 4-day week, and I'm happy to work with that. And so they do roughly 30 hours a week at the moment. But yeah, so and that gives me a time to spend on the Friday to do quoting, chasing up admin, do some planning, and also to go over and see my grandson and feed him lunch.
Oh, great.
And so and obviously as I got more team, I can move the roster around. I can have another crew working on a Friday, but they might have for example, the Monday off. Yeah, so it's just another way of working out hours and rosters, for two.
No, very good. And I was going to say, how long did you put on 2 guys at once? Like after 4 months, or when was the actual time frame?
Okay, probably. The first one I put on, and he worked with me for about 2 months.
Wow, 2 months in. Yep.
A good little worker, very committed, very intelligent. Just happy to work out doing gardening, and obviously, you have to pay these guys the appropriate money as well to keep them motivated, which is fair enough, I think. And then I put in another bloke to help him. And once that kicked in, they gelled together. They worked very well together, and they've got a ute and a trailer and the right equipment to make their job easier. And it's working out well.
Awesome. And I was going to say, you mentioned a little bit about your training before. So how long do you spend with the guys? And you said you get them to send a photo after every job. Is that something you still do?
Well, at the moment, I don't have. Well, I've just switched over to a Service 8. So with Service 8, when they do the job, they put all the photos in there, so I can just look at the photos there. But yeah, so just stopped doing that. And there's a couple of reasons why I did that. For the photos, obviously, they're time stamped. So if you ever have an issue with a customer saying, they weren't here at that specific point or enough time, or if there's a time issue, I can say, hang on, the photos here, they started here, they've done this. And also you've got the photos of what you've done, the before and after photos, just so everyone knows what's going on, and also just to pick up any finer points if there's any issues. Say if the web settings might be a bit rough on certain areas, or if they're doing a hedge that might be a little bit more work there. So just to give them that positive feedback.
And I was going to say, with your recruiting, where are you finding your workers? Where are you advertising, or where are you finding them from?
Yeah, I haven't had a great deal of luck with. I spent $500 with the CP. Yeah, and that didn't work. So. Because I had engineers applying for it, and I had people with degrees. Obviously, they were just looking for a fill-in job until they got their job. So, the first employee was, believe it, one of my son's friends, young fellow who wanted a bit of work, and I said, "Well, give me a go," and that worked out fantastic. And the second employee, I was doing gutter clean from a client, and I said to the client, I'm getting busy, look for another employee." And she sent the resume. Well, he passed this gentleman to me the resume, and I put him on, and he's doing well.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of franchisees try to seek with no luck, and it's all these other avenues like family, friends, and people they know, or they might know Facebook group or something. Yeah. Well,
and I've the next one I've done through Facebook. Just put a post in, and I've got quite a few contacts. I've got a contact there, So
yeah, I think the franchisees, you don't need to do seek. I think going what you're saying is the way to go. Facebook groups, or just asking your network who you've got. There's always a young fella or someone who needs to have a crack, and they're good people, and they don't want to let their referrer down. And I was going to say as well, so 12 months in business, sort of, you don't have to say your money, but like revenue-wise, are you happy with what you've been doing after the first 12 months?
Well, what I'll tell you, I can tell you this much. At the moment, we're averaging $1,600 a day to $2,000 a day in sales.
Yeah.
And that's 4 days a week. And I throw in occasionally on the fifth day, if there's something I have to do or catch up, I can do that. But it's going on quite good there. The revenue on the average sales about $160. $160. Yeah,
that's great revenue for your first year. That's really good.
Yeah, that's going on quite well. And I took on. I'll give you one example. It was interesting. I took on a deceased cleanup job from a hoarder. And it was eye-opening. I won't go through all the details, obviously, at the time, but it cost me $10,000 to dump all the rubbish.
$10,000, yeah.
$10,000. Yeah, but it was a challenge. That was the biggest challenge I've ever done in terms of work ever to get that done. And I had to try and do that while I had all my other work. So I had to balance it all out and work through it. But yeah, I got it done, but definitely an interesting job. And
definitely fits under the odd jobs category on the back of the trailer for sure.
Oh no, I had to get skips in and that, but it was just it was something different. I thought I could definitely do that. So something you can do if you have a crack at it, But yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we've got our Jim's Hazmat division. I know I've interviewed one of the franchisees, Tony, who actually specialises in hoarder clears. And there's not many people do it, but it's quite a lucrative business because it's a very tough gig to do.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It was an eye opener, but yeah.
And now, with your business, like typical services you're doing, you mentioned like you want to offer packages for people, which I think is a great idea if you can do it. Like, what's your typical services you're doing for clients? Is it just are you just doing a lot of, you're doing like a lawn and hedge, a lawn gutter? Like, what are you doing for people in general?
Well, what I've been trying to do with your normal regular clients is I get to a point now. It's not just mowing because I don't think you can mow if you want to mow, but that's fine. But I try and treat it more as a gardening service. So, okay, I'm going to go now and mow, but I'm also going to do the garden for them as well. By doing that, you can actually increase the rate. You're getting a better quality customer because they want that, and you're getting better money, but you're getting it's more job satisfaction too, because you go into a garden or a nice yard and you look at the brand and it's really clean and sharp, and you've done that work. It's fantastic, and the client's happy, and that's how the clients refer you to other clients. So you're hitting into the client, the right category of client as well.
And I was going to say as well, with your business itself, like with quoting, because quoting is a big struggle for a lot of new franchisees. And what's some tips and advice around quoting?
Okay, tips and advice about quoting. Okay, you're obviously going to make a lot of mistakes in the beginning, and that's fair enough. But you just have to learn. If you make a mistake, you have to obviously work through it. In the beginning, I tried to go out and meet clients and go to sites, but it took up a lot of time. So what I did, I started to do, once I got a bit of a feel on how long it took to do something like to mow a lawn or to do a hedge, I got a bit of understanding of time. Then I started getting clients to send me photos or videos. I like the videos better because you can see the whole thing. And from now, I can just quote from a video or a photo, and you can get the quote back to the customer a lot quicker too. And so while they're still in the looking zone, you can bang, they've got the quote. The only time I go to a site now, if the customer requests it, or it's a tricky site, or say like, for example, now when I've got the new business, I go to do a house wash or a soft wash. I like to go and have a quick look just so I'm learning and understanding how long it's going to take.
So does the customer, are you prompting the customer to send you a photo or video? Like obviously when you talk to them on the phone, you say, just take me a photo or video. How do you do that?
I do a lot of it via SMS. Believe it or not, I do ring them as well, but I do a lot because it's so busy and it's hard to answer calls when you're out doing a job, because I don't really like stopping a job, because if the client's watching you on the phone all the time, I just don't know whether that's a good impression. I think I prefer to, if I'm out servicing a client, my time is totally focused to them. So if I'm ringing a client saying, look, can you please send me a video or video of that hedge, just so I can understand it and get a good look at it, and I'll send you back a quote. And normally it's not a drama. Sometimes they say, I don't know how to do it. And I say, okay, well, that's fine. Look, I'll come around tomorrow or next time I'm around there, and I'll see you. And that's normally not a problem either.
I love that advice, Mark, because I agree with you. I think it's the modern way to go for quoting is in America, they've actually got a thing called live link, where they'll send a text message to the customer, and the customer will engage with the live link and walk around the job, and they can do it via that. And it just saves saves you a lot of time, obviously, saves you a lot of time not having to drive there and things like that. So I think it's a really good modern approach, and I do think customers appreciate that.
So even like with if someone rings up and says, "Oh, look, I've got something for you to dump," they'll go to the dump and do a dump run for them. Yeah. I say, well, just send me the photos of what you want dumped. So specifically got all the photos there, what's dumped, and from there I can just do a quote from there.
Yeah. I think the modern way for sure. Videos, you can get information from the customer up front, saves you a trip out. Makes you way more profitable as well.
Yeah.
I was going to say, now you've tacked on the window and pressure cleaning side of the business. Now, you mentioned before your plan was with the package. You wanted a package sort of offering. So was it more just seeing the opportunity with that service as an add-on, or why did you decide to go that route?
Yeah, that's right. It's an opportunity to grow that side of the category, but it's just I think it's an opportunity. If you think about it, if I can get to a point where I can offer the client a really good package for home care, I just think you can get so much more, out of that client in terms of sales and revenue and ongoing revenue. Yeah. And growing the business. But obviously with the window cleaning and the pressure cleaning, it's the same process. I'll be going through. It's a different process because for example, if you're doing windows for a client, that might be every 6 months, not every fortnight, for example. So I've just got to get out there and target the windows, but target commercial as well. I think commercial is an opportunity to go forward from there. And so I'm just trying to get to a point where I've got different services where I can offer the client to try and increase the package, I suppose. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you've already got 4 ratings of 5 stars, which is great. So are you doing those jobs yourself at the moment, or you got your team doing them all?
No, the team.
It's the thing,
yeah, which is good. That's why I'm so happy about it. The window cleaning, because we've got the right equipment, and the guys love the external window cleaner, and they were big windows too, quite a big houses too, which is really exciting and beautiful views. But no, they're very happy.
Can you talk about the water? Because I know the water's different. So I think the average punter just thinks it's water from the tap, but it's obviously not. So you're not talking about the process and what's.
Oh yeah, well, basically it's I don't know the actual name of it, but it's just like a little a tin, the drum sort of thing with a filter. So you hook up that to the garden hose. That water goes into the filter, and this filter it cleans it all out. So it's pure water. So when you're doing external clean, it dries streak free. So and it's just so easy, and they love it. And it's quite quicker because we used to do it by hand. So it takes a lot longer, and it's hard on the body too after we get a bit worn out, but it's just so much quicker. So once the guys finish out, like one will do inside, one will do outside, but once the gentleman finishes out there on the outside, he's got time to go and help to go in the inside. So gets the job done fairly quick, so which is
awesome.
Good.
Now, this is a dumb question, Michael. But are you on the tools still or not? Are you fully just managing it?
No, definitely on the tools. Definitely on the tools still.
How many days on the tools are you doing? You on 4 days on the tools?
Yeah, look, I did 4 days, but not full days.
Right.
So there you go. So in the beginning, I was doing 5 days, 6 days a week, and I was flogging my body, flogging everything, and I was getting sore and sorry, and I was letting my way out. That's the best way of saying it. But now I'm going to get to a point where once I get the other person employed, so I'll have two different teams. I've got my son, believe it or not, he's actually going to be one of the guys that works on one of the teams. So hopefully, he'll the kid out with all the right equipment. So hopefully, I'll have the 2 teams, and that should give me back a bit more time just to focus on driving the business.
Yeah, okay. Because the reason why I asked you, because I think this is really good and important. So you put in the hard yakka to learn how to do the jobs at the start, and then you've got on help, and then obviously you're trying to shift to where you can do more of the sales side and operational side, but you're training your guys up exceptionally well as well at the same time, so you can do that. And I think a lot of guys would want to do what you're doing, but haven't done it yet, or they think it's a really good idea. So you've obviously had this mindset from the start that that's learn how to do the technical job as best as I can.
Yeah.
Bring on people, train really, really well, and to keep the standards high, which you've got in place now. And then you can sort of put more people on to take away your load, and then you can work more on the sales and the operational side into a business where eventually, I guess, is your goal full-time basically just to be off the tools completely and you've got the full team out in the field?
Yeah, well, obviously the goal, that's correct. The goal is to grow the business, and I'll probably look at different franchise, different avenues as well, because I'd like to get to a point where I'm actually probably, I wouldn't mind becoming a franchisor as well down the track. I think I could do a lot there as well, definitely in that space. But I definitely want to get to, once the business is big enough, I definitely want to put on an ops manager and sort of, and look at other different things. You know what I mean? I don't want to focus on, but I just want an ops manager. I could just be there to touch base, work with them. But if you've got to get to a point where I can actually plan, this is a while yet, obviously, but I've been listening to a few podcasts about, if some people are trying to retire a bit early, you might have a couple of years off and get back to work. Something different. So working full time until you're 64 or 65, then retire, then go traveling. Maybe I do a bit of traveling now. I don't know. It's just a thought, but I just like to get to the point where I've got these businesses, people in place doing a great job, and they're just working with her.
Well, your training must be exceptional because you got pretty much perfect 5-star rating across now multiple services. So whatever you're doing from a training aspect is working. So how do you, we'll go back again. We've probably already answered a little bit, but I just want to make this clear because I think this is really, really important. This is what stops a lot of franchisees from scaling is one, they can't find good people, and 2, it's the training aspect from them. So how much time do you put into the actual training a new person comes on? So a new person starts with you. How long are you spending with them? And then what do you...
Yeah. It depends on the person and their skill set. But it could be up to, 2 or 3 months. It depends on.
Wow. Okay.
It could be a bit less than that, but I just, once they start, they'll start with one tool, and once they master that one tool, we'll go to the next one, and we'll have a go at it. We'll do the edges, we'll do the web stepping, we'll have a go at the mowing. I'll show them tricks on how to mow different parts of mowing. Then I'll show them how to use the zero turn, the rider mowers. Then we start hedging. We later do some hedging because you've got to be careful not to damage your hedge. We do it, but just straight cuts, long cuts. How to work with the ladders, safely, all about safety as well. Then I'll show them a couple of little things on how to prune, an easy way of pruning. So, and I always try, my mindset is when I'm doing it, I always try and show them how to do it so it protects your body. So you're not doing it the heavy way or the hard way. Always try and do it smarter so you're looking after your body.
Yep. I think you said 2 to 3 months, which is a significant amount of time. Sometimes I probably think some people might do 1 or 2 weeks. So I think 2 to 3 months is a really good amount of time you're committing to training that person, which I think is really good.
That's correct, definitely. And also, I still do it now with the guys. Like if we have a big job, I'll book everyone, so the whole lot will go to that one job, and then I'll work with them and keep an eye on them, see how they're going, and I could just offer them feedback there and then, or I'll get out there and I'll work with it, and I'll show them how to do it, and I just sort of like going out there showing them out, because this is lead from the front, I suppose you could say, and you get in there, show them, and that sort of inspires them, and they say, look, at least how he does this, and so does it, and I'm constantly trying to upgrade my tools. So I've got good equipment, So and they can see that, so they know that you're showing care because you're buying good quality product for them.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But I think you mentioned as well, you're pretty ahead of the curve with this with the 4-day work week. I know you said it at the start, but I want to talk about that a little bit more because I think that's my question was going to be, how do you keep the team motivated, right? So obviously you got the standards down, which is great, but you got the 4-day work week. So do you find that the 4-day work week they're just naturally more inclined to go a lot harder in those, let's say, 4 days, and then they know they've got the 3-day for it?
Definitely go harder, and they're not got the hours, which obviously they want to do. But I think it gives them time to recover physically and mentally. And just gives them an extra day where they can go do stuff with their girlfriends or their friends or the family, or their interests, whatever they want to do. And they just seem to like that.
Yeah.
But if I need them to work on that, say the Friday, they're happy to do it. But I just think it just seems to be smarter. They give them a break. They seem to be enjoying. They're getting paid, and I pay them above above award in situations, and I look after them. But they seem to really like that, and I don't mind it either. I mean, I love going over to see my grandson and feed him lunch. It's fantastic,
Yeah. I reckon it's smart. I reckon it's the way of the future. I reckon you're well ahead of the curve, and I think it's a great thing to hear.
And the other thing, for example, the other day we're discussing productivity and stuff like that, and one of the employees said, "Look, if we had another mower, another Honda self-propelled mower, because they've had one, if we had two, we'd get the job done a lot quicker." And because they've got a rider mower, but the rider mower is a bit big, and I don't think they like the mower operating as much as was what I would, for example. So I just bought another mower. I know it costs money, but my God, it's improved the productivity, and the little Hondas cut finer, they cut cleaner, it cuts really nice.
Yeah.
So if you're committed, if they know you'll outlay money for machinery, especially if it's their idea, and that was a fantastic idea, and that's why I'm always open to ideas on improving productivity or customer service. So I think if you can embrace that and acknowledge that with your team, that's going to help you to trust.
Absolutely, and it makes them feel valued and a part of what you're doing.
It does, and the other thing, there wasn't something that's going to bring up. Oh yeah, well, I've had a couple of times where I've had some, some machinery damaged, for example, or something damaged, but I don't mind that because they tell me. But they'll bring and say, "Oh, by the way, I've done that damage," but at least I know they've damaged it or I've lost something.
Yep.
So that's good because that's trust again. So these things happen, mistakes happen.
And what equipment are you running with? Like you mentioned Honda before for your self-propelled. Like, is there vans or anything you?
Yep. I've got mainly still.
Yeah.
I've got battery. I've got most of my gears battery, and I've got some petrol. I've got Toro. 54-inch Toro ride-on and a 42-inch Toro ride-on, and I've got the two Hondas self-propel, and I've got the rest of it's all still. And I've got my next unit I'm going to set up is all going to be battery powered.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
great. And I was going to say as well, is your team doing the maintenance, or you do the maintenance like once a week, or how do you maintain it?
I do the maintenance, but I've got one of the young blokes now is doing maintenance for his ute now too. So that's he's learned to sharpen the blades and obviously change oil and stuff like that. So which is fantastic. I have a cool air filter stuff like that. Yeah. But if there's anything major, I'll take it to the shop to get done. But we're just trying to learn to do as much as we can. But anything mechanical ones, they'll go to the shop and get it fixed straight away.
Awesome. And how do you manage your team? Do you do like a meeting every morning? Do you like a debrief at the end of the week? Like you mentioned an app before, obviously you distribute jobs by that. Like how do you actually manage the operations side?
At this point in time, it's by the phone. Like we'll touch base every day to download and see how they're going. And obviously when I meet them on site occasionally and we touch base, have a good chat then. And I just sort of let the team leader know what's happening and how it's going, and what quads I've won, what upcoming work, what potential work I've got, and just to keep them notes. So, for example, I got his feedback the other day. I'm going to purchase another truck soon, actually. So I'm just giving him feedback too, and letting you know what I'm trying to do, just so that they know the bigger picture. Look, he's doing this, he's doing that. The business is growing here, the business is improving here. So just so they know what's going on.
Yep. That's very cool. And I was going to say as well, then how's the support been from the guys? So you've obviously got Skagen in Window and pressure cleaning. He's got a really good sized business already, and you've got you're in Dan's region. I think, is it Bruce? Bruce,
yeah, no, Bruce is really, Bruce is really nice. He's a nice bloke. He rings, very good support. And Skegan's I listen to his podcast. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's good, mate. He's very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he'll go a long way with that. Yeah, no, but it's good. Any questions, I just flick them and they get back to me. And good support, great support.
Great to hear. Yeah, mate, it's amazing when you're after 12 months, the second franchise after 12 months, revenue wise, people can sort of figure it out from what you said before, which is well above the norm, which is awesome. What do you put it down to? Like, do you think it's something you've just always had it into you and you've now got this vehicle where you can apply that knowledge to this, or what keeps you so motivated? Do you want to build that lifestyle business? What you said before, you might want to take a year or two off and then you got this thing running in the background and you can come back to it, or?
Yeah, I just I guess I've worked 32 years in corporate, and instead of saying anything negative about that, it's more about I've learned so much from that in terms of customer service, how to serve customers. I'm going back to when I was a junior and had no idea, and the customer experience right on the way, how to handle complaints, how to deal with difficult customers, how to grow things, and how to build relationships. It's probably a lot of the secrets, so.
Yeah, it's great. You've obviously used all your skills extremely well and absolutely flying. I was going to say as well, like obviously franchise options, and franchises can sometimes be a dirty word, but how's the fees been and all that sort of stuff from your perspective?
No, fantastic. No problems at all. Because people need to understand that one lead can pay for that cost anyway. If they complain, well, for example, that the client that I've got that's 90 plus customers now, so that's from one lead. So, but the cost alone, like $800 to $1,000 a cost a month, that's including your leads, is not nothing at all. And you guys do all the advertising and the marketing and the podcasts. It's absolutely fantastic. There's nothing like that at all. It's great business.
Cool. I appreciate it. I was going to say as well, then the brand perspective. Then, what do you think with your customers? What do they tell you about the brand? Why are people using gyms? Because I think brand really matters now. I think it does. Brand is a promise, right? So, what's the promise in the market from a Gyms Mowing or from your business that you?
I just think the Gyms brand it's so everyone knows the gym brand. Everyone, it's such a I reckon it's probably one of the trusted brands out there, the highly trusted brand, and people know if it's if someone's coming from gyms, they know they're going to get quality work every time.
Yeah, and there's someone there that if something happens, we're gonna be around.
Absolutely.
Not going to be distant.
Yeah. So, and if there's a problem, that's right. If there's a problem with the work, or they know that they can go to gyms and say, and Jim will sort it out.
Yeah, Jim will get involved. You don't want that, and we don't want that happen.
We don't want that.
You haven't had that happen based on your surveys, which is great.
No.
Now, Michael, thanks for all the information today. Is there anything else I haven't asked you that I should have asked you that you want to share?
Yeah, just one other thing. With complaints, I mean, we all get fairly passionate about complaints, and something I've learned over this, the 18 months, I suppose, for me, for being in my own business, is these days I tend to take any complaints or negative feedback as an opportunity, and that's something that's really important because if the customers are happy about something or a product, or they're confused, instead of saying, no, sorry, that I did that right, this is what I've done, this is how we do it, and I've done the right thing, accept the feedback and see what you can do to improve or how to fix that.
Yeah.
For example, the other day we did, and the guys did a heavy prune, and we only had 2 hours of work allotted to do that from our supplier, but the customer wasn't happy because he was expecting a whole lot to be done. But I explained to the customer that that'll take 4 hours, not 2 hours. But at the end of the day, I went there myself, and I did another 2 hours for nothing for him, and just did it for him. Because that's how I do it these days. I just think, what's the point of fighting and arguing over something like that, where you can win back that customer? It's about winning that customer back. Or if you don't, you're going to get a negative customer and negative feedback.
Yes, absolutely. I'll ask Colin because I think complaints is a good one, what you talk about, because I do think, from being at gyms for so long, I know how passionate franchisees are about their complaints. They really, really care. And that's something that customers should know. It's really emotional. Like, what you might have a franchisee with 500 5-star reviews and they get one complaint. It's a really emotional thing, right? But but I think what you said is what Jim says in training all the time. It's about what can you do to improve. There's obviously something in the process or miscommunication or something that's assumed by the customer, which has caused it. So that's really good advice.
Absolutely.
And what about for a new starter then? So coming in knowing what you know now, like if a new starter comes in, sort of what would you say to them? So you've provided some really good advice already, but is there anything else?
Definitely. Probably ask small questions like go to your sponsor or someone, if you're not sure on how to do something or operate something, or if you need a bit of help on how to prune or hedge or anything technical, just get someone to help you. And don't try and go to what I did and try and learn and battle myself. And whereas if you had someone say, well, if you do it this way, it'll be a lot quicker and easier. So network a bit more and just try and get a bit more feedback, and don't be scared, or don't think you're asking questions is going to bother people, because I see people now, other guys, gyms, the new guys on board, and I know it's off from help. If they need help, to say, ring me, send me a message, whatever. No question is stupid. And I think if we have that philosophy, that just makes starting up a lot easier, and it builds their confidence quicker.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's counterintuitive for people outside of gyms, but everyone in gyms wants to help. Like no one's competitive with their areas or nothing like that. Everyone really wants to help, and I think that's a really counterintuitive thing from the outside, because I think that's the beauty of gyms, is you get access to all these other franchisees who are other business owners that you can just call up and ask for a bit of help, and you'll get an answer straight away. Yeah,
and the other thing is, if you ever go to the dump and you dump green waste, there's so many people out there. You meet your competitors, and all of the competitors aren't bad. They're nice people, and you can talk and you build rapport, and you can ask them questions, and they answer it too. So it's a good area to meet to talk.
Absolutely. There's a lot of stuff discussed over the you had to when they're doing the green waste and things. It really is. But Michael, appreciate your time today, mate. It's you're a star franchisee, mate. Like, I've done a lot of interviews, and what you've done in your first year is quite exceptional, and how you're going to build your business. I'm quite confident, you're going to be able to get to your goals really quickly as well. I'm looking forward to seeing how much maybe you can do in a year and jump back on. I think it's going to be quite remarkable.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate your time today.
No worries. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for listening to the episode of the Gyms podcast. If you want to learn more about the Gyms Group, head to gyms.net or call us on 131 546 Australia or 0800 454 654 New Zealand. And if you did like the episode as well, please make sure you leave a review or a comment, or a thumbs up or a comment on the video as well. We appreciate your support. And until next episode, we hope you have a great week.